Bettina, can you hear us? Thank you. Can you hear us, Bettina?
Yes, now, yes.
Hang on, you can hear us, but we can't hear
She
you.
can. Yeah, it's just because
What?
she hears.
Yeah. Can you say something, Bettina, so we can hear you?
I cannot.
It's just a few words just for them to.
Yes. I cannot hear well, but
Speaking, we're not hearing.
can you hear me?
How is the voice of Bettina? Is it okay? Just
Okay.
okay.
Can you hear me? My voice is weak. Let him introduce.
Yes, he's introducing, but they have cut the sound from that part.
I have problem with hearing also.
Yeah.
And Michael?
He's introducing, but they have cut the sound.
No sound. No sound.
Je pense. They have cut purposefully the sound.
I can't hear.
Okay. We cannot hear you. Okay, you may start now. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's,
Yes.
I may start.
Yeah, you can start.
Dear friends of Abhishektananda, I am with you mentally, spiritually, and technologically at this moment. And we cannot imagine that gap, When I am mentally in Shantivanam, it reminds me of 1963, when I came for the first time to meet Swami Abhishektananda. And it was one of those immortal and eternal moments which never go out of memory. So at least my heart is there, and I am grateful that you have called me to share some of my experience or thoughts. What I would like to focus on in this brief sharing is the importance of Swamiji's diary, or journal in French. I feel that we have the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. We have the talks of Ramana Maharshi. These are classics. They are classics of spirituality, of any religion. And for me, the classic of Abhishektananda is his diary. And it has not been sufficiently, also by way of publication, it has not been sufficiently presented as such. Precisely because Swamiji did not write for getting published. It was his own reflection, his own meditation, his own experience, which he committed to paper. And all the more, the value of this document is unique. And we have to really put it on that level where we have those classics of spirituality which are immortal. So I have been so much involved in the whole development, the whole presentation of the diary. The first step was with Panika, when Panika was in charge of making a selection from 1,000 pages and bringing it to about 400 pages. And he asked me to collaborate with him because both for the selection and then also for the Sanskrit, for the footnotes and all kinds of things. And for the French, both of us were not French speaking. For the French, Panika's disciple, Shanta, she was helping. But she always said, I'm not a disciple of Abhishektananda. But still, she was very helpful because we were not French. So we spent many days, and I would say even months, with this selection. Now people ask, what was your criterion of selection from 1,000 pages? One criterion was, of course, authenticity of the experience and of the expression. And whenever we found something relating to his life, he hardly wrote anything about his life, how many difficulties he faced, and his travels, and his food, almost nothing. So the little bit we could get, we included it, because after all, a diary is about life also. But what we left out were long excursus on certain theological topics. And yeah, so because we had to concentrate on his experience and his original insights. And if I'm sure all of you have had this book, you see how it is, in what condition. All my copies are in such a condition because I've read it and reread it and quoted it and re-quoted it, because it is a unique document of spirituality of the 20th century and of all centuries. Now, when you open it on any page, you'll find some inspiration. And the advantage of his writing a diary and not a book, that he did not make an intellectual elaboration out of it. He had an insight, and in his books, he made an intellectual elaboration, expanded it, and so on. But the diary, it's just the point of the experience and some reflection on it, some meditation on it. So I find that this journal or diary, it has to be given again its proper importance. Now, so we published the selection with Panika, and then there was James Stewart, who made the English translation together with, what was his name? Fleming,
David
Fleming, yeah. Yes, David Fleming, yes. And James Stewart, he also asked my help because I was a specialist in deciphering Swamiji's difficult handwriting. And not only that, also especially for the Sanskrit words and the Indian philosophy, Upanishads. So James was also taking my help, and I was involved in both these editions. Now, we have reached the 50 years of Swamiji's Samadhi, and I am told that these limitations of copyright are now over. So we should, or somebody in your group should make it the task to republish the English selection. But if somebody wants to expand it, but it is a lot of work. First of all, whatever has been published should be republished in a proper and dignified way. Then I have to say that I was also involved in a third attempt, and that came much later. You know, the Benedictines are famous for being very meticulous. Now, one Benedictine friend, Father Antoine Defarge, he had made up his mind. He said, this journal has to be published A to Z without any cuts, in French, of course, original. And then he asked me, because he is not familiar with Indian context and Indian languages and so on. So he asked me to collaborate, which I accepted with great joy. He even came to Banaras and spent some weeks in my library, and we worked together. And he is very meticulous as far as the manuscript is concerned, deciphering, and then the languages and everything. So we made some progress, but I think we not even half. And then, unfortunately, Father Antoine, he had some health problem and some other problem with his monastery. And so the work was stopped. And I wanted to request the DIM, the MID, that somebody should continue this work if Father Antoine is not able to do it. It would be a document like we have certain documents which are complete. And then you can always make a selection of relevant passages for certain themes or occasions. But I agree with Father Antoine, but it's just a very difficult and laborious task. So I hope that one of the results of this 50-year celebration would be to bring this diary, this journal, more into the light and to make it known, really, maybe with a new preface or something, make it known to a public beyond the Christian who are interested in Hindu-Christian dialogue and so on. That is already outdated, I'm sorry to say, but for a readership who are spiritually inclined or spiritually seeking for new insights into themes which occupy us, whether at the time of Abhishektananda or even now or even later. And of course, his main focus, I'm not repeating what all of you know about his life and his experience. But if you consider the focus of his experience and of his thought, it leads to Advaita. And Advaita, not as one particular philosophy, not as one Vedanta or anything. Advaita in the universal sense of non-duality, non-differentiation, non-separation, which has to be brought from the high mystical level also down to the level of experience in our life, in our way of dealing with other people, other cultures, and with the whole world. So that was his focus, but you can filter it out from his diary, how he reached, every time he reached that level of non-duality, which is expressed in the Sanskrit Soham, I am He. I am that divine, however you call that divine by name. So I think that at least the message I would like to give to you is to give a new birth to this diary and to make it known as a mystical and spiritual classic, valid for anybody, from Christianity, from Islam, from Buddhism, anywhere. So to make it known as a universal document of spiritual experience. Thank you.
There must be some.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. There is echo.
Any questions?
Yes, there will be question.
I cannot hear.
There is a very bad echo. And now how it is, Dorothy? So we cannot hear you, Dorothy, now.
Hi, Bettina.
Yes.
Now you can hear us better, no?
Yes, yes.
So what we're going to do, we're going to have the questions here, and then we will get you to answer. No, she hears you.
No, it's no microphone. Don't need this one.
She can
Yeah,
come
you
here.
can have the microphone.
Microphone also?
This one?
Je te dirai, je te
Hi,
dirai.
hi. Is it okay?
Yes.
You
Yes.
Better you can come here. Please.
Just if you can speak slowly, I have to repeat to Bettina G afterwards.
Mrs. Baumer, I try again. Do you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Hey, yes,
No, she hears it.
cheers.
Yes, you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So I told you that I won't give you hope because I have no skill, but I think that you don't have to make a selection because with new technology and the computer, it's possible to publish the integrality of the diary, but not with no selection, and the seekers, the scholars would be able to pick what they want. And for you, it's less work. And for the scholars and the seekers and so on, it's better because we have the old text.
So they say that, I mean, now everything can be put online and after people can make their selection.
This idea was also of Father Antoine, but I cannot do it. I can only help. I have to ask him to pick it up again if possible.
extra, have those extra, have those pages been transcribed? Those extra pages you have in digital form in French? Or are they yet to be transcribed?
Is asking if everything has been transcribed, of the integrality of the diary, or just a part has been already transcribed.
Yeah, I said it is not complete because Father Antoine had some problems. It is not complete because we did it on the basis of the manuscript with Swamiji's handwriting, which is very difficult. It's not complete.
Got it.
I think he reached 1959.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I think he told me.
Maybe. So we need some volunteer like Father Antoine to continue this work.
Jan, do you have your phone there with you? We're ringing you on your telephone.
Yes, sir.
I think you continue now.
Jan, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Jan, to pick up his telephone. We're ringing Jan's telephone.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Somebody said something.
Yes. Is there a problem?
Yeah. Telephone you down.
Pick up the phone. Yeah. This is echo.
Hello. Okay. So they will ask question on the phone.
Hello? Yes. You couldn't hear me? Yeah. Yeah. If that is easier for me to understand, yeah. Yes. So on the phone. Yes. Yes, I can give many, but the difficulty is to select, but I will. So I have to speak on the phone, otherwise. First of all, as far as his own experience is concerned, I was again really overwhelmed when he says, of course, in relation to his own disciple Mark, a disciple, quote, a disciple who has awakened, that is enough. But as for myself, like Ramana, it was Arunachala that awakened me. Oh, that awakening. So this is about his experience both as a guru and a disciple. So he was the disciple of Arunachala, like Ramana. Yes. This is one. It just fell into my hands. Okay. Yes. 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 Well, I am always the voice who says the opposite. I am convinced, and precisely the diary is the proof that he had received the enlightenment right at Arunachala. But as we know, we who have some spiritual practice, that one enlightenment, it has to be stabilized. So it is not, so it was, there's a confirmation. At the end, it was a confirmation, yes, this is it. But his enlightenment is very clearly says it in his diary. When there is a poem, there's a collection of poems of Swamiji, and the poem has the refrain, "who have seen the light," and I have seen the light, and it is like a flash of lightning, and it goes on and on. I mean, it's very clear, his experience of, yes. And if I pick, sorry, if I was asked to give a quote which is inspiring, there's another, but it is very much connected, of course, with his Upanishads. The Purusha of glory is to be found. I am he, Soham Asmi. And then he says, it is deep sleep, Sushupti, or else it is death, or else the cutting of the knots of the heart, the great death. It is the reaching of the sun in the Sahasrara. It is a reuniting of the two Purushas, that of the right eye and of the left eye. And it is only one. He refers, of course, to the symbolism taken from the Upanishads, but precisely that reaching that one from the two sides, and then reaching the Sahasrara is, yes, this point. Yes. Yes, please. Yes, we know each other, of course, from our previous seminars, yes. Well, Jesus was for him the perfection incarnate. So until the very end, even his diary ends with Jesus and the Trinity. So definitely Jesus has, for him, it absolutely. But it is not for everybody. You see, there are people in different traditions who don't have a relationship with Jesus, but they reach their enlightenment. That we cannot deny. Yes. Yes. You see, the problem is I am no longer, I don't have Abhishektananda Society, and I am too old to do any editing work myself. I can only give ideas to others. And so somebody has to take this initiative to republish the diary, even with the selection which is there now, with a little editing and correction and a new forward by a well-known teacher. But I cannot do it anymore. No, I have to repeat. Maybe it was not clear what I said. Maybe it was not clear. I said this was the project of Father Antoine to decipher the whole and to put it all online. In French, of course, and not in English. So the English translation, which is easily available in India, so that should be republished as it is already there. But the French will be put online, but somebody has to do it, like Father Antoine. So this is my answer, is very clear. Yes, definitely. Yes, yes, exactly. Yes, 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 yes. You see? Yeah, I fully agree. Of course, we don't have somebody like Panika. See, Panika was very close to Swamiji and he had a very deep understanding. So his way of selection was still valid. Like, one can always add something, but that is more work. For the time being, and what the three of us, Panika and Shanta and myself, so we have worked on this and it is valid. It is a valid text. If somebody comes and does more work, then most welcome. But so far, it has not happened. Oh, yes. Yeah, well, you see, there were both Abhishektananda and Panika, they have gone through different phases, theologically speaking. And the first phase, the theology of fulfillment, that Christianity is a fulfillment of Hinduism. But then they both evolved, both spiritually and theologically, that this is not the solution. So at some point of their being together also, they celebrated the Eucharist at the sources of the Ganga in Gangotri, thinking they're bringing Christ to, but afterwards they realized this is not, the Christ is already there. They don't have to bring him. And this theology of fulfillment, they completely overcame. And I would say, I mean, Panika made it more theological and Abhishektananda more experiential. But at the end, from the fulfillment theology, they landed in a theology of pluralism. Pluralism. And that is what nowadays we cannot escape, you know. This fulfillment theology does not stand up to the present consciousness. Pluralism means accepting all the experiences of humanity and of different religions. Yes, yes, yes. Matridham? Christodham. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah, actually, Abhishektananda, his own disciple Ramesh, you know, Ramesh, he was a Hindu, of course, and he was a devotee of Christ. And he wanted to be baptized. He wanted to be, huh? Oh, yes, yes. You know, when I started the bulletin of the Abhishektananda Society, I called it Setu. And the motto was a quotation from the Upanishads on the bridge. So that was, oh, hello. I am out now. Out or in? Can you hear me?
Wait.
Can you hear me? Yeah. No, I wanted to give you the example of Swamiji's very close disciple Ramesh. He wanted to become a Christian. And Swamiji said, you remain what you are, but you take Jesus as your Ishta Devata, as your Ishta. And because he was against the social implications, changing and key identifying and all this, he said, you take Jesus, your Ishta, and you be attached to him, but you remain what you are as a Hindu. So it was not that there was no contradiction. I mean, he consciously advised his two disciples, but the other one, he was anyhow cheating him. But for Ramesh, it was clear. Now, bridge. Here. For a bridge, it needs two sides. And the question is, when one reaches, like Abhishektananda, one reaches a state of unity, then the bridge also becomes unnecessary. The bridge is gone. So he had reached a state, of non-duality. And of course, as long as we are conscious of two sides, we have to cross over from one side to the other side, to meet in the center, or to meet in one side, or meet in the other side. But ultimately, that bridge will disappear and there's unity. I don't know if you understood. Okay, yeah. 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 Yes. They should use it for a tea break. Tea break.
Yeah. What time is it now?
I want to ask you, since you told that you have had something in this place, from your personal experience, can you give us something that is what you are touched by him? Not from the diary, but from your personal experience with him. You are touched by him in various ways. Can you explain at least like one or two? Something that you are touched by.
Well, that is a very long story. It's a very long story. But I mean, the first time I came to Shantivaram in 1963, and Swamiji allowed us, we were two, with my Italian friend Marina. Swamiji allowed us to stay for 1 week. Others ladies were not expected to stay here, but there was another monk, Enrique, and I had come from Arunachala, and of course, I cannot say I was prepared, but I had read his book on the hermits of Sachidananda, and that I caught fire with that. And when I met Swamiji, it was such a you know, all his spiritual and theological, but he was such a wonderful human being. I mean, he was just radiating the joy, although he was living in very poor conditions, but he was in such a state of sharing his spiritual experiences, and he accepted me immediately. And that was so surprising. I was a young girl, but his acceptance, you know, he was not a guru who would tell you, you have to do this, you have to do that. But he accepted one as one is. And that acceptance itself is a kind of transformation. So it's difficult to describe this, such a meeting. But it continued, of course, he came to Banaras many times, and we met in Rishikesh, and that was wonderful. Every meeting was a transformation. Yeah, he would put you at another level. Yes, and difficult to, and yeah, there's a whole story, and my correspondence with Shiktananda is very touching. Very touching.
It is available on the website of MID. Your letters are in the website of MID. Your article.
Which article?
In Dilato Corne. Your letters are Shiktananda to you.
Bettina, when was the last time you saw Swamiji?
The last time, well, unfortunately, there were these sicknesses in between. I did not see him because he was in Indore, in the hospital, in the clinic, in the nursing home. I was in Patna, in the Holy Family Hospital, because I had some problem. And there was a correspondence that I wrote to him. I would love to visit him, but I am also not keeping well. And he was so compassionate, you know. He said, you look after yourself, and I'm blessing. It was wonderful, but it was not an actual meeting because of the whole situation and limitations. Yeah.
Questions? So, Bettina,
Yes.
we have to get ready. We have a break time now.
Yes.
In here, unless you have something else you'd like to add.
No. No.
Very intriguing. Like you said, about the diaries. I think there's going to be a lot of discussion about that. And so we look forward to see what might come out of your suggestion. It just makes so much sense.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. 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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.